This program is designed for those working in and around the protected edibles glasshouses. Watch carefully. It provides information to guide you on what to look out for and how to behave whilst at work. Health and safety. It's everyone's responsibility. Between 30 and 40 people are killed each year in the workplace within the agricultural and horticultural industry. Many more are seriously injured. Everyone has a duty to look after their own safety and that of others. This film will support the training your employer provides. The rules are there to protect you, so listen, learn and obey to stay safe and healthy at work. It is your responsibility to know your workplace and the correct procedures to follow. If in doubt, you must raise your concerns with your line manager or supervisor. For accident prevention, it is very important that you report all near misses to your employer for them to correct problems and prevent accidents from happening. Signs. Signs are there to inform or warn you about possible dangers. Ensure that you know where your notice board is and regularly read all notices, as they may change. There are different types of signs. Green signs are for information. Red signs are a warning. Blue signs mean you have to obey. Yellow signs mean danger. Check all the signs around you carefully. Don't ignore signs. They are there to keep you safe. Our produce must be safe to eat. Health and safety is not just about us here at work. We have a duty to ensure that our products are safe for the consumer. Good personal health and hygiene are important for the production of safe, fresh produce. Make sure you wash your hands properly after using the toilet, before starting or returning to work, before and after eating, drinking, or smoking. Follow the procedures on how you should work when handling plants and produce. To wash hands, wet hands with clean, warm water. Apply soap and work up a lather. Rub your hands together for at least 30 seconds. Clean under your nails and between your fingers, like this. Rub the fingertips of each hand in suds on the palm of the opposite hand. Rinse under clean running water. Dry your hands carefully with a single-use towel. You may be provided with protective clothing. Wear it. Tuck hair under caps. Do not wear jewellery, as it is a potential contaminant in food. Report immediately any infectious illnesses you have to your supervisor. If you have stomach upsets, take sick leave and do not return to work until you are well. Avoid bringing unnecessary items into the glasshouse and avoid introducing foreign bodies that can contaminate production inputs, such as irrigation water and produce. The glasshouse environment. Know your workplace. Glasshouses are hot and often humid environments. Working on a hot sunny day can cause you to become dehydrated. Make sure you go outside or move to another building during your breaks and drink plenty of clean water at break times. Only drink from designated drinking water points. Look for the signs. Glasshouses are busy areas to work in with moving equipment such as trolleys and sprayers. Always be aware of what is happening around you. The glasshouse roof and other areas are out of bounds. Your supervisor will tell you where you are and where you are not permitted to go. Familiarize yourself with your surroundings. Get to know the structure and environment you are working in. Structural designs can include irrigation pipes, hanging gutters, and low-level heating pipes or railings. These may present a trip risk. Be aware of them and work as safely as you can. Don't fool around inside the glass house. Glass can easily break, cause damage and injury. Any broken glass or broken equipment should be reported immediately. Do not handle it unless you are trained to do so. Any objects that shouldn't be in the glass house must be reported. Be careful when handling or using tools and machinery in the glass house. When working at height, always check the equipment you are using and the area you are working in. Is the equipment in good working order? And do you really know how to use it? Check handrails for loose fittings, crop trolleys, ladders, or steps for defects. If it is not right, do not use it and inform your supervisor immediately. Are you at risk from strong winds? Is the ground strong enough to support your equipment? If in doubt, raise your concerns with your supervisor. Do not put yourself or others at risk. If you need to work on a roof, then the work must be well planned in advance and the risks involved must be assessed. In 2014, 39 people lost their lives falling from height at work, and over 3,000 people suffered major injuries. Take care when working near boilers and pipes that may become hot. Do not touch the boiler or pipes as you may get a burn. If you become too hot, take a break in a cooler area and drink plenty of water. Take care when working with or near any gas or fuel-powered equipment. Check that the area is ventilated and that fresh air can flow into the area. Only use such equipment if you are trained and authorized to do so. If you smell gas or suspect another problem, turn the gas supply off. If you feel dizzy or faint, it could be a sign of carbon monoxide poisoning. Tell your supervisor. Do not introduce naked flames for any reason. Do not smoke inside the glass house. Only smoke in a designated smoking area. Don't alter settings on thermostats or interfere in any way unless you are trained and authorized to do so. Machinery and equipment. Never use machinery or equipment unless you are trained and authorized to do so. Those authorized must have enough experience and they should keep focused. Never use machinery when tired. Don't take the risk. Before you start any machine, you need to know how to stop it. Always start from the correct position. Make sure all guards are fitted and working correctly. Check that the area around the machine is clean, tidy, and free from obstructions. If a machine isn't working properly, tell a supervisor immediately. Do not try to repair it yourself. If you are working near machinery, such as forklift trucks, make sure that you know what the machine will do. Know what will be expected of you and what others will do, especially the driver. Use of equipment such as knives. Crop work often involves the use of knives and other equipment, which may pose a health and safety risk to you and others around you. Take great care when handling such equipment. When using knives, cut the crop plants in the way you are shown. Don't wave the knife about near others. Supervisors will be responsible for sharpening knives. Take care when accepting knives or passing them to other people. Always use the handle, not the blade. Store the knife safely when you are not using it. For example, in a sheath or in a knife box. Hand the knife back to your supervisor at the end of the day or the shift. For all machinery and equipment, remember to check before use. Report defects and do not use broken or faulty equipment. Watch out for that vehicle. There are many different types of vehicles used in glasshouses. Forklift trucks, crop trolleys, pallet movers, scissor lifts, sprayers are all used extensively. You may be trained to use some of this equipment. Whether you are driving or you are the pedestrian, stay alert. Only operate vehicles if you are trained and authorized to do so. Lock keys of vehicles in a safe place. If you are a pedestrian within or outside the glasshouse, always walk on the designated pedestrian areas. These are clearly marked for your safety. Be particularly careful where forklift trucks may operate through doorways, in racking, or whilst reversing when the driver may have limited vision. Make sure you know which way vehicles are heading and keep out of the way. Remember, you may see the vehicle, but the driver may not always be able to see you. Not all vehicles have reversing alarms, and you can't rely on your hearing. Make sure you watch carefully to see if a vehicle is moving before you go anywhere near it. Manual handling. Manual handling is all about pushing, pulling, and supporting loads as well as lifting them. Everyone thinks they know how to lift and carry, but if you don't do it correctly, you can end up with back pain, aches, and sprains. It's not just a question of heavy weights. The size of what you are lifting, the shape and how you grip it, and how often you have to carry can all have an impact. Take care with equipment such as trolleys, particularly when loading, unloading, or dismantling. Repeating the same movement over and over again can cause problems. The use of excessive force or overstretching to reach can also cause problems. Before manually handling any object, stop and think, do I need to lift this? Do I need help? Is there a mechanical aid to move this? Stand close, feet shoulder width apart and one foot slightly in front of the other. Bend your legs, not your back. Grip firmly, lift gently, and keep close to the load. Bend the knees when lowering a load and don't jerk. Lifting smoothly keeps control of the load. Move the feet and don't twist the trunk when turning to the side. Put the load down first and then slide it to where you want it. Ensure you take rests and breaks to allow your body to recover. Slips, trips, and falls. Slips, trips, and falls cause many serious injuries. Being aware of your surroundings and taking that little extra care will help you keep out of danger. Wet and oily surfaces pose the greatest risks. Clean and dry any floors that could become slippery. Take care on slippery or wet floors. Take note of temporary warning signs. Select and wear proper footwear with adequate tread. Replace them when worn. The greatest risk of trips comes from poor or obstructed vision, clutter, uneven surfaces and ropes, hoses or cables lying uncovered and unsecured. Keep work areas clutter-free. Make sure all working areas are free from obstructions such as trailing cables, tools or pallets. Stairs should be in good repair. Report any defects. Handrails are there to keep you safe. Make sure you use them. Everyone thinks they know how to climb a ladder, but falls from ladders are very common. Falls from even a low height are high risk as they can cause severe injury. Learn to extend a step ladder correctly. When working from heights, ensure proper equipment is used, including mobile elevated working platforms with guardrails and where specified correct lanyards. Using damaged equipment or using it incorrectly can be very dangerous. You must receive training before working at height. You need certified training to use a harness and lanyard. Using damaged equipment, the wrong type of harness or lanyard, or using them incorrectly can be very dangerous. If you have not received the correct training, do not attempt this type of work. Where slip and trip hazards occur, you must adjust your pace and stride for the footing conditions. Also take into consideration any personal factors, such as stress or fatigue. Make sure you are working in adequate light. Report burnt out light bulbs and faulty switches. Remember, working tidily and planning carefully are the most important steps in preventing slips, trips and falls. Remain vigilant and take care where there are changes in elevation, on steps or on landings. Hazardous substances. Detergents, disinfectants, bleach and chemicals can be dangerous. Don't handle them unless you have been trained and authorized to do so. You may need to hold a certificate to handle and use such substances. Containers of hazardous substances should be locked away and stored safely and securely where unauthorized persons cannot reach them and where they cannot harm the environment. Read the labels and make sure you know what the hazard signs mean. Never use unmarked or incorrectly marked containers. Always wear the correct protective clothing when handling and using hazardous substances. Take care to prevent drift, spills, or splashes. Ensure others do not enter sprayed areas. Dispose of chemicals safely and never allow chemicals to enter the drains. Always wash your hands after handling any chemicals or chemical containers before eating, drinking, or smoking. Legionella. Legionella needs water to be between 20 and 45 degrees Celsius to multiply. Keeping water above or below this temperature prevents incubation, so do not interfere with boilers, heaters, or temperature gauges. Legionella has to be breathed in to cause harm. No warm water mist equals no risk. Where warm water mists or sprays cannot be avoided, then the water supply will need to be treated. You will be trained on the correct procedures if required. It is very important that you keep to these procedures. Campsite. Where temporary housing is provided for you, do not smoke in unauthorized areas or in caravans. Do not remove smoke alarms or their batteries. Do not block off any vents. Do not touch or turn off propane cylinders or valves. Never leave caravans with the stove or heater on. Do not tamper with electricity, including plugs, fuses, or electrical wires. If you are using electrical equipment from outside the United Kingdom, ensure that you have the correct adapters. Adapters are available from many hardware shops. Report any faulty fixtures or fittings to the camp supervisor. In event of fire, follow fire regulations that will be provided to you. Inform the fire officer if there is a fire. Ensure you know where to find fire extinguishers or blankets. Find out where the fire alarm and fire assembly points are. Emergencies. Wherever you work, you need to know what to do if there is a fire. Check out where the fire instructions are kept on your farm. Listen to instructions about your own site and find out where the fire extinguishers are kept. If you are inside, check for the nearest fire exit. Make sure there is nothing in the way of the fire exit. If you spot a fire, get out of the area affected and then tell your supervisor. Find out who the first aid person is at your workplace. If accidents happen, let them know straight away. If anyone is injured, stay with them until it is safe to do so, until a first aider arrives, and tell them clearly and calmly what has happened. Do not handle the injured person unless you are a first aider. If moving machinery is the issue, switch it off if safe to do so. If you are overwhelmed by the situation, or if you are in doubt, dial 999. Other issues. Bumblebees are used to pollinate plants within glasshouses. They are docile, but if you get stung, seek first aid to reduce the pain and in case you suffer an allergic reaction. High noise levels can cause permanent hearing damage. You may not even be aware of the problem until it is too late and your ears are damaged. When you are in noisy places, you should see this sign. It instructs you to wear your ear protectors. Repeated or prolonged use of vibrating tools can also be bad for your ears and for your hands. Remember, if you have to shout to be heard, then you need to wear ear protection. Avoid working alone. If you have to work alone or in remote places, then tell your supervisor before you go when and where you are going and what you will be doing and when you are expecting to return. Report back to your supervisor upon your return. Always carry communication equipment, a mobile phone, a CB radio, or a bleeper, so you are able to alert someone if you encounter difficulties. Working with some glasshouse plants can result in skin irritation. Wear protective clothing provided. If your skin is affected, tell your supervisor. The way to stay safe and healthy at work and avoid accidents is to follow the rules and guidelines. If you have any questions or problems, please ask your supervisor for more information. Remember, the rules are there to protect you. Don't ignore them. You are your own safety supervisor, so learn the skills to look after yourself. We realize that there is a lot to remember, but it is important to know what to look out for and understand why it is important to follow the rules and guidelines that apply to your own area of work. When you've watched the video through from start to each section again, talking to each other and your supervisor about your own specific site arrangements. It is important to double check that you understand the health and safety issues for each different area. We hope that this program has shown you why health and safety is so important. Wherever you are working, remember to take time to look around carefully to make sure you are fully aware of the health and safety issues before you start work. Remember, the rules are there to protect you. Listen, learn, and obey them to stay safe and healthy at work. The information which you have seen is to guide you to stay safe and healthy. Further information on health and safety can be obtained from the Health and Safety Executive on the following website: www.hse.gov.uk.